Hello, I'm Jan Mulvin. You're watching the Redmen TV.
Okay, then it's time for question of the week. This week it's provided by Matthew Owen at MonTheMath on Twitter. Thank you very much for this, Matthew. Let's get into it then. Is there a better British manager than Rodgers, and where do you think he stands among the young managers in Europe?
He's the shortest.
But he's got the nicest teeth.
Slightly lower.
Yeah, he's got the youngest girlfriend.
Yeah, good on him. Good on him, Brendo.
Seen Ian Ayres a little bit hotty on the side of the moment.
Which one? Which one?
She looks about a £2,000 two grand a night escort girl. That's what she looks like. Not that I know what they look like. I suppose I know what the 20 quid a night ones look like.
We'll get there, lad. Anyway, is there a better British manager than Rodgers? I'm going to throw it out there. No, I can't think of any off the top of my head who would even close, and that's not necessarily because Brendan Rodgers is an absolutely outstanding manager, which I actually do think is the case. I think he's brilliant, but look at the contenders. 2 years ago you had Lambert. Yeah, well, Lambert's the good Paul Lambert was the strong.
No, not the thing.
He had Tony Evans basically intimating on his tweets that Lambert was the better manager of the two.
Yeah,
he was in a poorer football club and worse facilities available to him, but it's not worked out.
No. You actually look at it. There was a time when we were appointing Rodgers. So you look at that peer group. There was a couple broke through. You had Houghton, who was Newcastle and Norwich in between that.
Yeah, Lambert took over.
So then you had Lambert, who was actually doing really well. He was considered like the top young.
What was the other way around?
You also had
Owen Coyle.
Coyle was like bringing.
Christ, I shouted Owen Coyle for potential future Liverpool manager
because he was playing great football. He was a little bit before that. He's in the MLS. Toronto, was it? Because he was actually managing Bolton, and they were when they had Sturridge on loan and Wilshere. They played great football, and then he was meant to be like he brought Burnley up. So he was in that pot of.
He used to play in the reserves to talk through his young strikers what they should be doing.
And so you were looking at it, and you had Rodgers at Swansea. You had Martinez, I know he's not British, but he was in that young group.
Neil Lennon, he'd done everything he could possibly do in a one-team league
in
Scotland.
But no, there was a group of them, and all of them have fell. At the time, you were talking because let's say Rodgers wasn't the Liverpool manager, you were just looking at him objectively as the manager of Swansea. You were looking at a good group, and you were like, wow, there's actually quite a lot of these new tactical forward thinking. They actually talk about tactics, the school of science and all that stuff about actually using analytics, and a lot of them have lost the job that they had.
And who's still standing? And Sam Allardyce and Brendan Rodgers. There you go.
But it's so he actually I think if he was to not win anything this season and it went disastrously wrong next year and he lost his job, he might actually be looked back as they were all as bad as each other because none of them won anything, because no one's won anything. But I think the fact that he comes so close to the league last year, hopefully we win an FA Cup this year and he get top four, hopefully we win something next year, he'll actually distinguish himself as the one who broke away from that group.
I think that you're right. Of the British managers, and I say that the pickings are fucking slim, aren't they?
Well, Pulis.
When you look at the fact that like Hodgson was the outstanding candidate for the England job.
He still wasn't.
Well, no, I know. But the fact is, he's
considered the height of
which again probably says more about the FA than anything else. But you look around like Allardyce. He's done well with West Ham this season. I think they've seen the limitations of what maybe not him, but maybe the what he's got available to him. Perhaps Gary Monk's doing a good job at Swansea, isn't he?
3 or 4 years ago,
he's doing a really good job.
Mark Hughes is doing good with
Stoke. Harry Redknapp
nailed on for the Everton job in the summer.
Yeah, Harry Redknapp. That'd be amazing.
Imagine.
Yeah, but he basically bowed out to that job. He wasn't sacked. He took a step back.
David Moyes.
David Moyes
you would have been saying definitely pre-United, if that question had come up, you'd have said, who's the best British manager? And every manager...
I think his name, in fairness to him, has still got to be in the hat.
Yeah, no, he is, because he's managing and he's British and he's doing all right. It's very slim pickings. He's better. For me, he's higher up than, obviously, Houghton or than
The problem
Coyle.
with all of the managers... Sam Allardyce is the only one who hasn't been offered a chance at a high enough level. I mean...
Newcastle fans would...
Yeah, exactly. He had whatever his opportunity was at Newcastle, he didn't. He failed to take it. But Brendan Rodgers is the only one now playing at the top level and holding his own as well. Whereas you look at the ones who maybe had a little sniff of it Moyes being the example, had a sniff of it, and now he's back down to Sociedad, who were a perennial mid-table Spanish side. We'll see whether he builds his reputation. McLaren, England job, fell down, built his reputation back up in Holland, and now he's doing a good job in the Championship. Neil Lennon, great reputation from Scotland, back now in the Championship with Bolton.
Mowbray. Tony Mowbray. He's going to bring mid. It looks like he's going to bring Borough up.
No, he's not. Is
he not Borough anymore?
His manager.
Oh yeah, of course. So where's Mowbray?
I don't think he's manager.
No, there's still a few. There's one that I can think of who's not in the game who I'd like to see come back into football. And that's Glenn Hoddle. I'd really like to see Glenn Hoddle back in football, because I think 10, 15 years ago he was probably a little bit ahead of his time. Yeah, definitely.
Faith healing and all that.
Yeah, maybe not the faith healing.
I think he'd be a good England manager.
Yeah,
I've
said this for years. That was the only England team that I thought had an identity.
Yeah.
Ever since, we've never really.
No, you can't.
You're watching England because it's shit.
Yeah.
But,
and they're making good players be
shit. And you knew you were watching an England side who were trying to achieve something.
Yeah.
And I'd love to see him back in the game.
Yeah. And I think there's, again, we were talking about levels of manager, like the joke about Warnock will get you up, but then he'll get you relegated. I think international management's very different as well to normal. I think Glenn Hoddle suits international management. I don't think Roy Hodgson suits it at all. I don't think he manages that. But no, I don't think. I think it's
because Roy Hodgson tries to get you 64 points a season, and you don't have that in fucking international football. He's gone into the group stage of the World Cup thinking
he's looked at it because Costa Rica's alphabetically ahead of England. It was written as Costa Rica v England, and he went, "That's an away game. We can get a draw there. That'll stand us in good stead in the future." What do you mean? Where's the rest of the matches gone? Oh fuck! Come on, Roy, go back to bed.
So just back to it then. I think we're stretching if we're thinking there's a better British manager
at the moment.
Unless there's one we've completely missed. If there is, do let us know in the comments. And then second part, where do we think he stands among the young managers in Europe? I have to admit, in this one, I'm not sure. I don't know enough. Would you count Bilic as a young manager?
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah, he's still.
Well, he's proven himself in the Champions League. He's got the better runs.
Simeone's the best young manager in football.
Yeah,
Simeone. Yeah, definitely.
It's funny, isn't it though?
And then does Pep Guardiola still count?
Yeah.
No.
He's got to. He's under 45.
I'm saying it's an age range. He's still in. I reckon a young man, for me, your range is 49, 50, over 50.
Yeah,
you
got
manager.
15 years from 35 to 50. Then you got 15 years upwards.
Yeah.
I suppose.
So under 50 with managers under 50, Guardiola's still in that, and he's obviously the height of it.
I think when we start to get onto the continent, this is when you need to start winning stuff to prove yourself. And ultimately, if Brendan Rodgers delivered a Premier League title, hey, he's right up there alongside Simeone, because look at what he did with the resources available to you.
Well, Simeone did it, didn't he?
Yeah, exactly.
Simeone won with Atletico Madrid, the not fancied team, and he broke that 2 team. And we would have said exactly the same. It was City's and Chelsea's to win. And if we'd have won it, Verve for the grace of God and whatever, he would have done exactly that with the unfancied team, but was the best team in the league that year, won it.
He fell ultimately short, as well, we've not proven ourselves in Europe under Brendan Rodgers at all. So they're big question marks. So when you step out of the British pond, he's not there. He's
average.
He's very, very. I think he's very, very average. I think in that. But again,
but he's got potential.
Exactly. This is not to say he is and always will be. And I think that's where people fall into the trap a lot with football in general. Is that maybe because the stats don't improve rapidly on Footy Manager enough or on FIFA enough, and you've got to wait for an update or whatever. But people are only a couple of good performances away from changing their lives and changing their trajectories in football, aren't they? And I think we'll see in a year or two to go. I think Brendan Rodgers has the potential to be right up there with the best managers in the game, because as he said it himself the other week when he was linked with City, he doesn't see Liverpool as a stepping stone. It's it's a destination for him. He wants to be here and he wants to build, and exactly. It's ultimately it is just words. But we've seen the path. We've seen that. I feel as though we're on an upward path with him in charge, and if he continues on that, Liverpool will be a boss team again, and he'll be at the helm. So there you go. If you agree or disagree with that, let us know in the comments and say if you've got any better suggestions for British managers that you want to throw into the hat that we've missed. By all means, do. And I'd be interested to know maybe if you could put the top 5 or 10 young managers in your opinion in Europe. does Brendan Rodgers get into that, and if he does, where does he fit into that? In the comments below, if you would. We've got quickfire still to come, haven't we?
Yeah, we'll do it as a separate video.
Yeah, we'll do a quickfire round. Anyone's missing the quickfire? It's not as filthy as it once was, but it should be good fun. Check it out.
Chris, what do you think of that?
I think they had the night off, didn't they, half of them? 6 or 7 didn't turn up there, and you know the Skirtle thing had it had a massive effect on us because we were basically playing a back three that hadn't really played together with 2 wing backs that hadn't really played in those positions very often, and then Skirtle getting injured and Colo Torre coming on, it was just dead disjointed.